Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and all the world is a stage, and today I'm going to lay out for you how this digital assets play is unfolding, and I'm going to show you. I've predicted many of these things for over a year, 2 years now, and you're starting to see them, and I want to show them to you. And you're also seeing, a lot of people jump on board now who were involved in the misdirection in the last 2 years. I want to show you them too. But it's important that there's nothing new under the sun, folks. This is all playing out. It's playing out in a lot of ways the way that the .com thing played out. And you're seeing it right now. Now, when I reference the .com period, I want to make sure you understand, I'm not talking about the frenzy that you're seeing right now being like the .com bubble when it busts. We're way, way early in this. This market's at, I think, 1.3 trillion. We have, now that's not to say there's not going to be pullbacks, but we have literally trillions, if not into the quadrillions to go. This is a new financial system we're talking about. First, I wanted to show you this. If you haven't watched The Big Short, the movie The Big Short, about the financial crisis and the guys that bet against the housing market back during the financial crisis, you need to go watch it, because what I wrote here in this tweet this morning is so true. I was retweeting, this guy showed a clip from The Big Short, which I'm not going to show because it'll hit me with a copyright. But I said one day Hollywood will discover what was happening on XRP Twitter from 2017 to 2021, and they will make The Big Short Part 2. That's going to happen, folks. You watch. Okay. Now, by the way, it's not going to be a 489% return they're talking about. It's going to be thousands of percent return that the story is about. Okay, I saw this from Binance. The Bitcoin market cap has surpassed Tesla. And I want to take this moment to just say, as a part of this play unfolding, Bitcoin has a place in this, and I think that Bitcoin and Dogcoin and all these things, they're helping, and the celebrities that are involved, and Elon Musk and all these people, I think that these people are they're players at the theater. I mean, these are some of the people who are helping to bring this about, and Bitcoin and Dogcoin have their place, and that's fine, but they're not the one. I'll repeat, they are not. And never were the one. And at the end of this video, I'm going to show you a video clip of David Schwartz himself explaining to you why Bitcoin is not the one. It's very clear, very common sense, and you'll understand it too if you don't already. Okay? Now, because any Bitcoin maxi worth their salt, they all think that there's nothing but Bitcoin. They could not be more wrong, and you will see why. Mike Preston sent me this. Apple positioned to offer cryptocurrencies, RBC report. Apple Inc. has a clear opportunity to offer a buying and selling mechanism for cryptocurrencies, a move that would allow the company to immediately gain market share, according to a research report on Monday from RBC Capital Markets. With its access to world-class software and secure ecosystem, Apple could tackle the problem individuals face acquiring crypto assets due to your customer laws and other regulations. I'm here to tell you, and you heard it here first. Apple, if you're reading an article about how Apple's positioned to offer cryptocurrencies, it's already done, folks. It's just a matter of an announcement. Remember yesterday when they announced that Tesla had bought $1.5 billion in Bitcoin? They didn't announce that Tesla yesterday was buying $1.5 billion in Bitcoin. They announced that they bought $1.5 billion in Bitcoin back in, I think, January, and probably had bought some before that too. That's what they announced. When you see an announcement, or you see an announcement of a possible announcement, it's already done. That's how the big boys make the money. These guys, these guys are already ready to release a cryptocurrency wallet. If you're reading an article like this, it's done. It's just a matter of when they announce it. That's the way this works. Speaking of, Jim Cramer, who has officially been activated. This is Jim Cramer on Bitcoin. This guy right here, I tell you what. This guy dumbfounds me. The fact that this guy has all these people tuning in to him to listen to what he says about what to invest in. I'm going to play you some of the absurdity, and it reminds me of that when the guy from Comedy Central had him on and was playing clips from him. I've seen clips from this guy. He ought to be ashamed of himself. Well, I'm going to show you another one here. This is what he said today.
It does appear that it is going to open down. Is this just a breather? And what do you make of what's happening in the market? And then I'm trying still, even a day later, I know we talked about Bitcoin yesterday, but trying to make sense of where this is all headed.
Well, look, I think it's worldwide. We're catching it here. There's need some more good news. We don't have it. We still want to know about stimulus. The variants, the vaccine variants that we're having trouble with, I think are very much on people's minds. Look, I happen to think that Bitcoin is exciting. It's something we can talk about endlessly. There are promoters of it. There don't seem to be a lot of sellers of it. We're going to hear from PayPal in an analyst meeting coming up about how it's begun to be mainstream. I just think that in the end, you have to have some sort of hedge on it, because if you take it and it goes down, I think that you're going to end up saying, why did I use Bitcoin when I could actually transact in dollars? But as far as a way to be able to have a pastiche of things that you should do your cash with, I'm all for it. I think it's almost irresponsible not to include it. Every treasurer should be going to boards of directors and saying, should we put a small portion of our cash in Bitcoin?
Really?
It seems to be an interesting way to hedge against the rest of the environment. Nice hedge against fiat currency.
Okay,
that's the question.
I'm not going to play any more of that. So he thinks that all companies, they should go to their boards of directors and invest in Bitcoin. Well, here's what he was saying in 2018 while the media, which is controlled by the money people in New York City, they were trying to scare us out of this stuff. This is what he was saying in 2018.
Not investing. It has very little to do with investing. It has a lot to do with the poor mechanics of this instrument. Because if you're going to do these different the futures, or they can tell you how much risk there is, but the fact is, this market doesn't produce even more tulips. I mean, let's say it was that analogy. But you can't find supply, so they have to reach until supply is felt. But that's not investment. That's just poor mechanics of an instrument.
Right. But this is a mania, is it not?
Yes,
it is.
We could. Joe Kerner was asking me about.
Okay, so that's what he was saying back then, and there's other video I could show you where he's saying, I don't like Bitcoin and all this. But let's go back to this, because I hope that when the story, we are living through a story, folks. What I hope that especially you young people get out of this by the end of this, as this thing unfolds, and they say it in this video that I showed you at the beginning of my video, or the video, this clip. I didn't play the video, but anyway, it's the Big Short clip. And in this clip, they say, the guy says basically, he says, listen, people that invest, just average people out there that invest, they're looking to authority figures to basically tell them what their investment behavior should be. And Jim Cramer is an example of one of those authority figures. But guess what? Jim Cramer was wrong. We were right. Jim Cramer was wrong, but I don't think he was wrong. I think he was intentionally wrong, because these people are told what to say. These huge media outlets are owned by someone, and there's a narrative. They have meetings, and they have meetings where they're. I'm not going to name the firm. I was with a Wall Street firm. These people, I mean, you have meetings. They bring you donuts. You have meetings where they tell you what you're going to. They don't tell you what to sell, but they present to you what to sell and how you can make money on it. There's always there's a narrative from Wall Street, and there's a narrative from Wall Street owned media, period. That's the beauty of social media, is that all of us out here, we don't have that. We're not incentivized by somebody that owns us. We actually are trying to feed our families, and we come up with ideas, and we're just talking about the ideas that we believe in because it makes sense. That's what this is all about. That's what it's always been about. It makes sense. What did not make sense was when we all knew in our gut that this crypto thing represented something that we had not been presented with after the financial crisis, which was all BS and lies and bailouts and all that garbage. And he participated in helping to act like that was normal and pitched that to the world as if it's okay to have bailouts and it was needed and all that. He was a part of that. And then he's trying to scare people out of crypto back in 2018, talking about how it's not legitimate and all that. And now all of a sudden, oh yeah, you need to do it now. Back then it was 15,000. So now that it's 45,000, oh, you need to do it now. It's insulting. Okay. Now, this is coin market cap right now. We're at 1.3 trillion. You can see XRP's doing pretty well. Bitcoin's up over 46,000. Let's see what my Stellar's doing. It's there at 38 cents. Not much going on. Now, I wanted to show you this. This is from Power Lunch. This is Michael Saylor. Okay, talking about the Tesla thing.
Joining us now to discuss is MicroStrategy CEO Michael Saylor. Michael, great to have you back on, and let's just get right to that news of the day. Did you actually talk with Elon Musk offline and share your playbook from, as you put it, one rocket scientist to another?
You know, there are business rules regarding how public company officers are allowed to communicate to the public. So I'm constrained in what I can say. But
that's not
you know what we said on Twitter, and you know what I've been saying all along, which is it's a great idea.
All right, that's not a no. It's not a
That's
yes
not
either.
a no.
So between this move, or I guess because of this move with Tesla today, I'd imagine you're feeling pretty vindicated in your strategy, and really what I think the vote of confidence of Musk buying into Bitcoin kind of implies here. I wonder, though, how you would respond to critics who would say that given the volatility of Bitcoin, we just touched on that, the risks associated with it as an asset class, that you are not only putting the company at risk, but shareholders' investments at risk. How would you respond?
Well, first of all, they were very measured in this. They have plenty of excess liquidity in U.S. dollars. And so I don't think there's any criticism of what they've done. Companies that are converting their dollars into Bitcoin are taking a non-performing asset and they're turning it into the best performing asset. Bitcoin's been...
Look, we have Dogcoin on CNBC, but no XRP. They don't show that. Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, Dogcoin. All the world is a stage, folks. This is one big joke being played on all of you. Do not buy this garbage. Now, I'm going to move along. I'm not going to show any more of that. Suffice it to say that Michael Saylor, too, has been activated. He came out of nowhere this year, by the way. XRP Vet sent me this. This is Mark Cuban. We're going to talk about Mark Cuban for a minute because Mark Cuban, too, has been activated.
We're only 10, 12 years into crypto, if you're starting beginning with Bitcoin. And, I don't know exactly how many years with Ethereum and transactional blockchain and smart contracts. So there's a long way to go. And there'll be a lot of companies that don't work. But you're going to get some, oh, my God, winners. And, at the beginning of the pandemic, as awful as it's been, I talked about companies that we're going to look back in 10, 15 years, and there are going to be companies that were created. And, America 2.0 was going to come out of something that happens here. This is it.
America 2.0. Now, one thing he said in there was that he was basically saying a lot of these are not going to be anything, but for now there's something. There was a slight inference in there about Bitcoin and Ethereum from Mark Cuban. Nobody on the planet knows more about companies that through a technological boom can disappear later on than Mark Cuban, because what I call when you just happen to be in the right place at the right time, and it doesn't even in technology, It doesn't even have to be the right investment. When I'm talking about Bitcoin and Ethereum proof of work and Dogcoin and talking about how those are bad, okay, and how those are not the ones, I'm not saying that there's not a lot of money to be made on them. I think there's a lot of money to be made on a lot of garbage investments, okay? There is. In history, it happens. Mark Cuban is literally a billionaire from selling a product that did not work, not the way that it was intended. I'll prove it. I call it the Mark Cuban moment. And I think many of you listening to me, if you haven't already, are going to have your Mark Cuban moment. And it might be with Bitcoin, it might be with dog coins, it could be with some of the ones that will completely disappear when all is said and done. But the people who are going to have the real life-changing things is going to be XRP and XLM. It's not going to be those things that don't have real utility. It's just not. Here's what a Mark Cuban moment is. The guy literally became a billionaire. I was there. He created broadcast.com and he sold it to Yahoo back in 1999. He sold broadcast.com for $5.7 billion. The service, which simulcast TV and radio programming on the internet, was way ahead of its time, but it didn't work at the time. This is when you had dial-up internet. I remember trying to listen to this stuff. You would try to stream a basketball game, and it kept going out, and it would say buffering. But right here it says dial-up connections were too slow to play live video, and broadcast.com lacked compelling content. Yahoo eventually broke up broadcast.com into various streaming media businesses, none of which exist today. The point is, folks, that you can have your Mark Cuban moment. There will be Mark Cuban moments with Dogcoin and Bitcoin and all these things that don't have real utility. But just like broadcast.com sold he sold it at the very top of the hype cycle in the .com boom, okay? And it was later obvious that it was all hype. It was all a hype, the hype of this new .com thing and all the possibilities. But it wasn't, the internet wasn't ready for it. And he's a billionaire from it, okay? The same thing is going to happen with these things. Same thing. You're watching it right now. Okay, and here's what else you're watching that's aligned with what happened during .com. You're starting to see all of the players be activated. The actors, the movie stars, the rock stars, the Elon Musks, the Jim Cramers, they're all being activated right now because they've seen this movie before, just like I have. This is Gene Simmons tweeting out about Mark Cuban on Dogcoin. And he's saying, no, it's not a bad look. Dogcoin is less than a dime, And he's saying that Dogcoin's an okay thing. Well, he would know. Then you got this. This is Charles Hoskinson. This was tweeted out. Is that today? I don't even know if it's the 8th. Anyway, Tesla buying Bitcoin. Great crypto adoption moves on. Anyway, the future is in the hands of Elon Musk and Charles Hoskinson. When the time comes, these guys will do something great on Cardano. I don't doubt that. I think Cardano is real technology. But I find it interesting that all of a sudden we're seeing pictures pop up with Elon Musk and Charles Hoskinson, don't you? Now, what about this one? Charles Hoskinson himself tweeted this out. He's joking around back in the old days before the current events. We used to have large gatherings called parties. Stories were exchanged, usually with elders like William Shatner. He's sitting there with William Shatner. I told you on this channel probably 2 years ago, you'll know it. When you see William Shatner coming in, when you see him start popping up around this blockchain, he's a marketing genius just like Gene Simmons. This is William Shatner from the .com days. He was a Priceline spokesman. When this guy comes on the scene and is obviously being activated now, William Shatner is on the scene, you know it's time. Okay? Now I wanted to show you this from Stephen Bull Diap. This is an upside down video, but listen to what the guy says. From January 2021, this guy is a CEO of Doha Bank, Qatar.
Blockchain does not require a third-party authorization. When you don't require intermediary, it is significantly speeding up the cross-border payments and the process becomes more scientific. Westpac, for example, one of Australia's largest banks, partnered with Ripple. Ripple is a technology company, an enterprise blockchain solution. The product is so powerful for global payments to implement low-cost cross-border payment systems based on blockchain technology. What an opportunity it is. So more and more institutions are going to resort to blockchain for cross-border payments, and we have many examples. Many financial institutions are tying up with these tools and software distributed architecture. The tools are going to be a collaborative model and sharing of the revenue, make it more cost efficient for the customers, and avoiding the middleman, and speed and accuracy are the great usage in terms of cross-border.
Okay, and now this is from Chinu Patel. He sent me this. This guy pointed out February 15th, Ripple will submit a joint letter to the SEC. The joint trial document brief is a best practice for trial. Trial goes a whole lot smoother when counsel can agree on joint trial document brief. And then this guy, Jesse Hines, who I think is also an attorney, weighs in. He says, February 15th, joint order will be filed by the SEC and the defendants where they set the path forward, but there is no trial happening on this date. And then he says, so the Freedom of Information Act request is a separate and not actually related to the lawsuit. The SEC has 20 days to reply, but they can extend it. Ripple may very well have received an answer by now. It's going to be up to them if they share it with the world. I think they may. I think they will too. Now, this is a must-view video right now with what you're seeing in the landscape. I remember this video from David Schwartz, and Real XRP Boy threw it out there in the last couple days, or last few days. And I didn't see where he put it out, but it's a good 1 minute, 7 second clip. He lays out for you why it never was going to be Bitcoin. It's all about the Interledger protocol. Ripple is the standard, folks, and this is what it's really about. Watch this. Those of you that think that Bitcoin, I mean, I see these Bitcoin maxis and I'm just like, oh, how can you tell people this stuff? How can you tell them that this is really what you think? Listen up.
Bitcoin enthusiasts seem to think that there'll be one ledger to rule them all. We've beaten down that path for a couple of years, and the news is there is not going to be one ledger. There is not going to be one payment system. There is not going to be one blockchain. There's not going to be, just like there isn't one web server, just like there isn't one payment system on the internet, there's one internet, but there's a whole bunch of different systems on it. And the reason for that is that people like different things out of their ledgers. And we want innovation. Ledgers are important. They track assets. People want high-frequency trading. They want ledgers that respond to government subpoenas. They want ledgers that have different rules. Some people want ledgers that are fully public. Some people want ledgers that are private. Some people will refuse to participate in a system if North Korea has access to it because they have regulatory requirements. There is not going to be one payment system. But we don't want ledgers to be islands either. We need a standard. We need a way to make payments across ledgers. We need a way to build a system that consists of a number of payment systems forming one network. Just like the internet connected a large number of private networks together, and we need a neutral standard.
All right. So he laid it out. Look, these guys that started Ripple, the XRP ledger was specifically created to improve on the problems with Bitcoin. Specifically, I'm going to finish with this. I'm not going to read it to you, but iTrustCapital, and you can go in my sponsor section in the description down there. There's a coupon code for a free month if you open an account with these guys. But they put out this article, which you can go to iTrustCapital.com and click on knowledge, and they've got these articles. They put the how to put Bitcoin in your 401k article up. Go check it out. If you want to get some tax protection on these crypto investments, that you need to go study these guys. I opened myself a Roth IRA and a SEP IRA with iTrustCapital, so it's the way to go if you are in a position to do it. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe. hit the like button and tell your friends and family that iTrustCapital can help you out with an IRA where you can actually invest in crypto and gold and silver. Thanks for listening.